Hey, you guys. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the 5 types of hunger. There are definitely 5 different types of hunger, and a lot of times we get confused about why we're hungry, why we feel like we want something. And when we understand whether we're actually hungry or whether it's something else, it keeps us in control of the decisions we're making. It gives us wisdom and knowledge to know what is actually happening, and now what do we do about it. And especially with the holidays, it is really big this time of year where we can get a little confused about whether or not we're actually hungry. So the first one is actual hunger, right? When you're actually hungry, it will gradually come on. It's not all of a sudden going to hit you like, oh, I need this. It will gradually come on. You might get a headache. You might feel a little lethargic, a little tired, a little moody. You may actually have actual hunger pains, and what we tend to do is we tend to say, oh, I'm starving. I've got to get something. We want to stop saying we're starving. One, there's people who are actually starving and you're not. The likelihood that you're starving isn't. So you're not starving. Two, because when you say I'm starving, it gives you permission to make bad choices. Just grab the closest thing before I die. I mean, this is like this mindset, this attitude that you're gonna die. You're not. What you need to do is say, oh, I am really hungry. I need to get some water first and think about where I can get myself a healthy meal, some vegetables, and really, nourish my body, because it is obviously very low on nutrients and it needs those nutrients. And you start drinking your water and you go find something sensible to eat and to fill your body. It's empty. It needs good food. If your body's empty like that and you fill it with junk food, you're going to crash. It will not turn out well at all. So remember what you're saying out of your mouth, because it's setting a mindset up, right? Your mindset is, wow, I need some water first. Let me go find some sensible food. The second one is sense hunger. So your 5 senses, right, can make you feel like you're hungry. Maybe you're at the mall and you smell coffee, walking by Starbucks and they have pastries and coffees and things, and you walk by and you smell that, and then all of a sudden you're like, you turn towards it. You're pretty sure you're hungry. You need that, or candy, or you walk by the movie theater and you can hear the popcorn popping or steak sizzling, or the crunch of bread when it breaks and things like that. I don't want to get you too much about food, but you know what I mean. You see it. You walk into a room, maybe there's a plate of cookies. You see them, like, we talk about out of sight, out of mind all the time. You see those cookies and you're just eating them because you see them. They're just there. Or you go into an office and there's a bowl of candy, especially this time of year. And so you're grabbing candy and you're eating it because you see it. Tasting, obviously, right? So sometimes a bite to taste is too much, because once you taste it, you just want more of it, and you're not actually hungry. Remember, it's bringing this on as your senses. You've seen it, you've heard it, you taste it, you smelled it, you touched it. It's something to that effect. So that's sense hunger. The third one is emotional eating, and it's one that every single one of us have done at one point in time or another, because when we eat, it triggers dopamine, especially sugar. It does that dopamine response in our brain, just like cocaine, and it makes us feel happy. So we can turn to those kinds of things. So when you're sad, mindless eating, you're not even paying attention, you're upset, maybe you got a bucket of ice cream and you're in front of TV watching a sad movie and you've got your spoon and you're just eating it and you don't even realize you're eating it. So it's just mindless. You're not even paying attention to it and you hit the bottom of the bucket, Mindless eating definitely comes with it. Emotional eating. When you're stressed, this is usually for me when I emotionally eat is when I'm stressed or I'm angry. I'll grab something fast, and I'm just eating it really fast and not paying attention to what I'm doing and just stuffing my face with it. And so there's that stressed, angry eating. And what we're trying to do in any time of emotional eating, we have stuff in us, right? We have emotions here. And what we're doing is we're pushing them down with food. Instead of dealing with the emotion, we're like, no, 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 no. So another one is FOMO. FOMO is big for this time of year. fear of missing out. You there's the pumpkin spice lattes and the peppermint mocha lattes and the pumpkin muffins, the pumpkin pies, the cookies, the Halloween candy. You know, maybe your grandmother makes some dish that you don't get very often, so you have this fear of missing out on that dish, and so you will overeat on it, or every time you see something, every time you go to the store, you buy the whatever because, oh, it's just this time of year. Well, just this time of year with all that food really accumulates really fast. You know what I mean? So if there is something this time of year that you really enjoy, like I told you guys, pumpkin pie, right? It's like, and I'm gonna have pumpkin pie. And there are so many ways to have pumpkin that tastes like pumpkin pie that's healthy. And actually last year, if you guys remember those pumpkin, they're like little tiny cupcake looking things. They tasted exactly like pumpkin pie and they were actually good for you. So I'm totally looking forward to making those. But so there are healthier versions of those things that you want, or if there's just something that, like I said, your grandmother makes this whatever and it's just amazing and she only makes it on Christmas, have it. But don't have the pumpkin spice latte and the cookies and you know what I mean? You don't need to be having everything else. So decide, what really are those things that you don't want to miss out on? Okay, and make those the things. You know, and when you're having them, don't do the mindless eating thing. Like, sit down. If you're at a family event, you're sitting down and you're paying attention to your food and you're eating it and you're enjoying it. Like every bite, taste every seasoning. Let your senses notice it. Let your whole self enjoy that moment, enjoy the food, you know, all those things, and take it all in. Because a lot of times when we're mindlessly eating, you think, oh my gosh, I want cookies, oh, cookies. And then you just eat the cookies and you're like, did I eat the cookies? When did I get the cookies? You know, and so you didn't actually even enjoy them. You never even realized you ate them. And now you just have all the negative side effects of it. You didn't get any of the positive, right? So mindless eating in that sense, you want to pay attention to the food. So whatever it is you've chosen, and we'll talk more about this as the holidays go, but whatever it is you've chosen to be your FOMO food, let that be the star of your holiday, you know, whatever holiday it is. And it'll keep you on track. So FOMO is a big one for this time of year. Also self-sabotage. A lot of you guys are doing amazing and you are losing weight and you're just hitting those marks. And sometimes when you get to a certain place and people say, oh, I go do great until I get to this weight. Well, this weight becomes you're afraid to go past it. It's a comfort zone. You know, a lot of times weight, we put it on as a protection barrier for us. And it's like, I have this here, so people actually can't ever get very close to me. They can't hurt me. And that becomes, you know, so once that starts to shrink, you're like, oh, I can't go very much further than this. And so you allow yourself to stop. Don't do that. Keep going. There's so much on the other side of that. Keep going and break through that. You know, make it a goal that you're going to break through that. So if you have what you've always stopped at, don't make that your goal weight. Don't ever make that any part of a goal, ever. Even if it's the next 10 pounds, then make it the next 15 pounds. You know what I mean? We're always doing 2 pounds at a time, but if you're doing, say it's 150 pounds, you've always stopped at 150 pounds, then, and you weigh 160 right now, and you're like, okay, next 10 pounds, it's 145, or it's 155. You know, so don't let that one be a number, because you always want to look beyond the sticking point. Look past the sticking point to a goal, and you will reach it. You'll do really, really well with that. So, and there's obviously being happy. There's not always just sad emotional eating. There's also happy emotional eating. Like we've been talking about, you're celebrating with family. Hey, we're having cookies and cake and pie and all the mashed potatoes and the gravy, and we're celebrating, and you know what I mean? So that's also an emotion. So, taking control of those things, deciding what you want. And I'm going to give you guys a new tracker for the holiday season that's really great, and you guys will be able to use that. There is mind hunger. Mind hunger, which is number 4, can be positive or negative. Negatively, it's like using your old mindset. Your old mindset says, it's okay, you can come in. Your old mindset would say, like your old belief system, the old way of doing things, like, I'm not going to eat all day. I'm going to save up all my calories or all my points or whatever so I can have donuts at the end of the day and that's all I'm going to eat. Or, you know, that's not a good mindset. That says I'm going to starve my body. I'm not going to do anything to bless my body, and then I'm going to give it crap at the end of the day. There's no nutrient value in that. There's nothing good for you, and then there's nothing for your body to use to rebuild your cells and your organs for your brain to function. That's crap. So you don't want to do that. So it's a negative mindset based on old ways of eating. What else? So we are working always on what works best for our bodies. And sure, you can have those donuts sometimes, like we talked about already. So a positive one would be like a cocktail party or something like that. And what you want to do then is have a really great meal beforehand and make sure you're drinking water as you're there, and stay full. You know, maybe bring a beach bar or bring something in your purse to snack on if you think you're going to be hungry. And plan ahead for that kind of thing as well. The last one is sleep deprived hunger. This is a big deal. You guys should really be trying to get in 8 hours of sleep a night if you can. So when you're sleepy, ghrelin is your hunger hormone. It goes up when you're sleep deprived. And leptin is the hormone that makes you feel like you're full. It goes down. So when you don't have enough sleep, you are hungry all the time, and your body is actually kind of working against you at that point because it needs energy and it's just asking for it because of that. So you want to be sure that you are getting enough sleep. So that's the 5 types of hunger. Go through those, look through that, and take some notes. Which ones stuck out to you? Which ones do you want to work on? Which ones are coming up, like for the holidays, that you know about, that you want to be sure to be prepared for?